Welcome to the Old Classic Car channel, and in this video we're looking at classic Alfa Romeos, and we begin with XTU 102E. That's a 1967 Alfa Romeo Duetto Series 1 Spider. Next up, a head-on view of a 1965 Alfa GTA. This was at one of the historic race meetings held at Donington Park a few years ago. Sunny day here, NEF 35P, that's an April 1976 registered Alfa Spider, the 1962cc car. Down to Prescott, and we have a wonderful 8C2300 Le Mans Tourer of 1934. This saloon SVR436H is a Giulia, a 1300 Ti Berliner saloon, of course. Next up to Alton Park, quite a few years ago, we got an S registered, September 1977 Alfa Romeo GTV 2 litre. Continuing with the classic Alfas, we've got VMR 247M, that's a February 1974 Alfa 2000 GTV. Webasto type roof on that particular example. Head-on view next of an Alfa Montreal, this car dating to about 1972. Next up we got PWL3J, that's an October 1970 GT Junior 1300 with a 1296cc twin cam engine. This magnificent machine, HSV 977, is a Tipo B or P3, serial number 5009, this one from 1932. This was also seen at Prescott a few years back at a VSCC event. Here's a rear view of the same car. Continuing on with these classic Alfas, we have this very unusual machine, 924 XUA, that's a 1954 1900M Matter. The rear three-quarter view, also taken at Prescott, of TTU 302H, that's a Manchester registered car, a 1750 saloon or Berliner. Sticking with saloons, we've got GPH 555N, that's a 1974 Alfetta 1.8 engine car. Another Spider here with the chopped off tail, S registration, this particular car, really nice indeed, dating to about 1977 or early 78. TNA, that's a 1750 GTV, this particular car dates to 1971. Back to Prescott again, there's always a good mix of cars there. We've got UX3920, that's a 6C 1500 Roadster dating to 1929. Another damp Prescott here, 606 UYU, that's an Alfa Romeo 1900C Sport, that one dates to about 1955 I believe. Somewhat later this was spotted at Silverstone in the pit area. We've got an Alfa 155 XBTCC. A lovely pre-war Alfa next, KYR 564, that's a 6C 1750 SS or Super Sport, dating to 1929, looks like a very original car there. A rear three-quarter view, the first of two now, of a Giulia Sprint GT. This particular car dates to 1965. There's a front three-quarter view of the same car. Such a good-looking little car they are. Somewhat more modern this, an S-registered Alfa Spider. Modern classic Alfa, I'm sure. Down to Goodwood, this was at the Revival in 2021. We've got a pair of Giulietta TIs. A wonderful sighting down at Prescott at the VSCC meet, LSL 729. That's an 8C 2300 Spider, this particular car from 1934. Head-on view now of a GTV 2000. This particular car was registered in August of 1973. Back to the pre-war Alfas again, YY709. That one was registered in December 1929, it's a 6C 1750. This was at the Goodwood Revival in about 2006, I think, a service van spotted in the paddock area. LSL 987, that's another example of the Alfa Romeo P3 or the Tipo B. Over to Alton Park for the Gold Cup. Got another Alfa here, I think it's a GTA. Back to four doors. Got a nice all-white Berliner saloon here of the early 1970s, I believe. AKD 450B is a 1964 Alfa 2600 Sprint. There's a rear three-quarter view of the same car at a different event, I think. KIB 4938, somewhat more recent. This is a GT-V6, first registered in July of 1983. 2.5 litre V6 engine under its bonnet. This is the mighty Bimotore, two straight 8 engines, one in the front and one in the tail. This was spotted at the Cholmondeley Pageant of Power quite a few years ago now. Back to Silverstone, we've got a Milan registered Alfa here. This is a Giulia TZ1 of the mid-1960s. These were built from 63 to 67. Not all Alfas are racing cars or sports cars. 465 AGB is a 1972 Alfa Romeo A12 Transporter. A very appropriate load on the back. Down to Goodwood Revival, slightly more recently, we've got a 1938 Alfa Romeo 308C straight 8 engine car. That was the replacement to the 8C35. Smart Alfa here, this is another GTV. First of several SZs to feature in this particular collection. This SZ is a Spanish registered car. KFO 427, another vintage Alfa here. This is an 8C2300 Monza, this one from 1932. Row cars again, VOD 42K, that's a 1971 1750 GTV Coupe. If you've got a favourite Alfa, please let me know in the comments, or if you'd never have one again, please also let me know. Back to Silverstone, the paddock area, we've got another GTV. I'm not sure if this is the V6 or the 4-cylinder car. To Prescott and Pardon Corner, we've got BS 9221, that's a 1750 GS or Grand Sport, 6C Zagato Spider. What a stunning car this is, 632MI. That's an 8C2900B from 1938 in the Mille Miglia Touring Spider. Somewhat more recent Spider, TRP 67F from 1967. This was at the Tatton Park Classic Car Show back in the mid-2000s. Spotted at Goodwood on the banking, RAS 886. That's a Giulietta Sprint from 1960. Another stunning pre-war Alfa next. This is a grey circa 1930 to 32 6C 1750 Grand Sport. What more recent, we've got an Alfa 75 base racer here. These were built from 1985 through to 1992. An HV65E, that's a Giulia GTC. This particular car was registered in January of 1967. That's the 1570cc twin cam engine. There's a rear view of the same car at Alton Park. While we were at the Goodwood Revival in 2021, we saw this wonderful Alfa 158 Alfetta. This was at Alton, W registration Alfa 6. At the time Alfa were gunning for BMW, so certain echoes of BMW styling at the front there, and there's a rear view of the same car. Automatic, it says. That was a very damp Alton Park. To Donington, a few years back, we've got AOA 947B. If you could let me know which model this is, it could be a GTA, I'm not quite sure, but please let me know in the comments if you can add anything to the photos shown here. Now this is probably my favourite of the lot, this pre-war Alfa here. This is just a stunning vehicle. I think this is a 6C2300, but if I'm wrong, please let me know. Staying with the pre-war years, XW3348, that's a 1924 Alfa Romeo RL Targa Florio. This was at a VSCC meeting. Out on track at Alton Park, we've got another Alfa here, another 60s coupe. The Alfa 155, obviously done for competition work in mind. Quite a late example of the classic shaped Spider G432 MAG. This one dates to August of 1989, 2-litre engine under its bonnet. Alton Park again, got a 1932 8C, this is a 2300 Monza. What a beauty this is. This was spotted down at Bicester Heritage a little while ago, 167 YUJ, that's a 1961 Giulia Sprint Speciale. Spotted at an auction, we've got E913 WCL, that's an Alfa Romeo Alfasud Sprint green cloverleaf from 1987. CNB 581M, that's an Alfa Romeo GTV 2000, this car is from 1974. There's a front 3/4 view of it and a rear view of the same car, I think at a different meeting. Still plenty of classic Alfas to come. Here's just a gallery of various other cars that we've seen at mainly at Goodwood, I believe, in the early 2000s. Again, if you can add any information on the cars shown, please do so. Classic car auctions now, rear 3/4 view of an L-Reg 1972 Alfa Romeo Montreal. There's a front-on view of a different Montreal. This was a bit of a favourite of mine in the 1970s in the Top Trump card game. EAS 751 is a 6C 1750 Zagato. This is a head-on view. There's a rear 3/4 view of the same car down at Bicester. Another Alfa Montreal, different colour this time. Another SZ, this is an L-Reg car, L469MJH. Very distinctive styling, I'm not entirely sure if I'm entirely sold on it. There's a rear view of the same car, very much of its era. DSO 539C is a Giulia Sprint GT, this one dating to 1965, C registration car. And then we've got a Giulietta Spider Veloce or Veloce. I think this was down at Race Retro. Continuing these classic Alfas, back to Prescott, we've got VR 4952, that's a 6C 1750 from 1930. U240D, I think this was at Alton Park, I spotted this one, it was registered in April of 1966, that's a 1600cc car. There's a bonny little machine, 271 UXA, that's a 1960 Giulietta SZ. A much later SZ there. Spotted now at the VSCC's event at Alton Park. This is 734YUA, an 8C2300 Corto Touring Spider of 1932. Stunning bodywork on that particular car. Look how the rear spare wheels are fared in under that covering on the top there. EBP 536B is a Giulia Sprint GT. this car dating to 1964, seen here at Alton Park a few years ago. And we've got a 156 Racer, this was also Alton Park in the pit area. BLO 488H, that's a September 1970 registered 1750 GTV. Period alley wheels, very smart indeed. Gaggle of Alfas here in the foreground, A172 OVJ, that's a September 83 GTV6. Down to the NEC Classic Car Show, CTC 351M, that's a Berliner, a 2-litre car from 1973. There's an Alfasud alongside it. GM112, seen near Alton Park, that's a 1930 6C 1750 GS, or Grand Sport. RYJ232M is a GT Junior, that's a 1300cc twin cam car from October 1973. UDL289S, that's another Alfa Sprint, Alfasud Sprint. That was an evening classic car meet we went to a few years back. It's a great view of the same car, quite a gathering of classic cars optic in the meeting. Not too many Alfas that time though. Still quite a few Alfa Romeos to go. This is a side view of the Dennis Poor 8C35, the straight 8 twin supercharged Grand Prix car. The little coupe here spotted at Alton Park, Kia registration, so what, 1971, early 72. It's a 2-litre car that was. EGU 877H, that's a 1750 Duetto Spider from 1969, the boat tail car. That was in the classic car auction area. Front on view of 16 PME, that's a 6C 1750, body by Zagato, GS, another Grand Sport. There's another Alfasud. Very appropriate registration, Sud 1P. Two photos now of LSJ 236, that's an 8C 2300 Monza. This car was photographed at the Cholmondeley Pageant of Power a few years ago. Sadly the event no longer runs, but it was a lot of fun while it lasted. To the NEC Classic Car Show, and we've got OHR432X, that's a much modified GTV6, apparently with a 3.5 as opposed to 2.5 litre engine under its bonnet. RJL496N was seen here at Alton Park, that's a 1975 2000 GTV, very similar car parked alongside it as well. Back to the pre-war years, AYH701, that's a 6C 1750 GS, this particular car is from 1932. OCD 363M, that started out as a 69 Giulia Sprint, but looks to be much modified if that rear wheel arch is anything to go by. Back to Cholmondeley Castle, but for a classic car show, we've got a CEC 580S, what's that, a 1977 Spider. To the Pageant of Power again, we've got an Alfa Romeo P3 or Type B. YU474R is another example of the Alfa Romeo 2000 GTV. Down to race retro, and we've got a 1964 registered Berliner, the Saloon. That's a 1600cc car. And finally, to round off this collection of classic Alfa Romeo photos, another assortment of pictures taken at older Goodwood revivals, race retros, and so on. I hope that was of interest. If you're a fan of your Alfa Romeos, please let me know in the comments, or if you've got other thoughts about them, I'd love to hear them as well. Other videos are on the channel, there are several hundred now, so please have a look around before you disappear, and more videos will be along very, very soon. Bye for now.